Hi, my name is Neil Montgomery, and for my class project, I did my research on expectancy violations theory. Expectancy violations theory was first developed by Judee Burgoon in 1976, and in an article called Interpersonal Expectations, Expectancy Violations, and Emotional Communication, published in 1996. It does a great job of giving you an overview of her ideas, her background, her understanding, and what she has done with her work in that area. So I want to present the project to you. I want to present the topic to you by means of looking at different vocabulary words. And when you link these words together, it kind of gives you a good overview of the theory itself. And the first word is the word expectations. Expectations means, what do we expect to happen? Now, I am an avid Kansas City Chiefs football fan, but when I go to the game or when I watch them on television, I would never say that I expect the Kansas City Chiefs to win. Now, I want them to win. I hope they will win. I pray they will win, but I can't say that I expect them to win, because expecting means I kind of know what's going to happen based on past performances. Something closer to the idea of expectation is when my wife comes home from work each day. She comes in the front door, just to my left, and when she comes home, she drops all her stuff by the door. She greets our two dogs, Kona and Bruno, our husky and shepherd. And then she comes in and greets me, and then we'll move on maybe to the kitchen. That's pretty much a given, is what she will do every day. That's what I expect to happen. That's the behavior she has done, and that's what she kind of shows me on a regular basis. And so that is the idea of expectations in this theory, is that we all have expectations. Or as two researchers, Miller and Tern, said in a great quote, they say, "We rarely interact with others without at least some expectations about what they will act or perform." And that's true. We all have expectations about how others will act, and most likely they have expectations about us as well. Now, those expectations come from two sources. One is what we call social expectations or social norms. That is the kind of unwritten rules, the codes we follow, and we know what to do. For example, when we go to a party, or we go to a funeral, or we go to a wedding, everybody kind of knows what to do. Nobody's written this down, nobody's given us the guidebook, but we kind of all know what to do. That you speak softer at a funeral. You might be more excited and louder at a wedding. At a party, sky's the limit on noise. But we all kind of know what to do. Or at least we expect others to know what to do, and they expect that we would know what to do as well. And another type of expectation is what we might call individual expectations. This is where each one of us has our own code of what we expect others to do and behave and say in certain situations. Even though we may never have articulated that, we still have those expectations. Some are legitimate, some are unfair, some are unspoken, some are well articulated, some are shared by lots of people. But we all have expectations of what we want and expect other people to say or to do. The second big word is the word violation. Now, when we hear the word violation, we think there was a law, there was a rule, there was a principle in place, and somebody has not followed through on that rule. They've broken the rule. They either did something they were not supposed to do or did not do something that they were expected to do. For example, if my wife came home and she put her stuff down, but then didn't greet the dogs or didn't greet me, but went on into the bedroom or did something else, it's not a rule, it's not something she has to do, but it'd say, hey, something's up, something's different. What is making this situation different than others? Now, what is interesting is we call this a violation, or the theory calls it a violation. And violations, we think, are bad. There was a rule, we broke it. There was a speed limit, we went faster. We violated the rule. and therefore there is a penalty to pay. But ironically, in this situation, because we talk about the pre-established rules, then we think of a violation, but really, maybe violation isn't the best word for this. Although they came up with a theory, I didn't. I'm kind of a Johnny-come-lately. But I'm thinking more of an aberration or a change or a surprise took place, something that was unexpected. Somebody did something that somebody else wasn't aware of. And going with that, it means when somebody does something we weren't expecting, it creates, another key word is arousal, or it got our attention. That's something out of the ordinary that didn't fit, makes us wonder why, what, where, how, what's going on. It caught our attention. Arousal. And so for us to understand the aberrant behavior, the change in behavior that got our attention, the arousal, we now have to interpret what happened. Why did it happen? Why did they act differently? What's the change going on here? So interpretation is critical. And in order to, we're thinking, well, did they do it on purpose or was it accidental? Was it an incidental change which really doesn't do anything? It doesn't arouse us. Or was it a significant change way off the regular path? Did it have anything to do with me? Am I personally involved? Or was it some other situation that really I have nothing to do with? And then that leads us to the next part of that interpretation is usually there's one of two roads that our interpretation can go down. We can interpret the violation in a positive way, positive violation, which means they did something different, but we liked what they did. It was a good thing. It makes us want to hang out with that person more. It's ideal. It's better what they did than the regular rule, norm, straight road. They did something different that we liked and maybe we think is an improvement. So it's called a positive violation, which almost sounds like an oxymoron, doesn't it? But then there's the other side, which is a negative violation. This is where they did something that we don't like. We don't approve of. We think they did something wrong at this point, so therefore a negative violation. I'll give you an example. Let's say that we're at a party, and we all know that we have kind of a space around us that we don't like people to invade. In fact, it was kind of down this road that Judee Burgoon got her first interest in what became expectancy violation theory with proxemics, or the space people use, the space they take up, the space we like to have around us. So we're at this party, we have our space, 24, 36 inches, whatever you prefer, something not too close but not too far away. And let's say a stranger steps into that space to talk with us. And we don't like that. That would be a negative violation of our expectations. In fact, there's one episode of Seinfeld where a gentleman always is talking 6 to 8 inches from people's face, who they refer to as the close talker. And so he is in violation, a negative violation of the rule of space, our safe zone. But let's say it's our spouse who comes in, and we still have our space, but we want them in our space. We like them in our space. We appreciate when they step in close and hold us close or hold our hand in that space. It's a positive violation. It violates the principle of our space, but we like it. We want it. We enjoy it. We look forward to it. And so there is the theory in a few brief words: expectation, violation, interpretation, arousal, positive violation, and negative violation. There it is, expectancy violation theory in just a few words. And again, I encourage you to read some of the material by Judee Burgoon to get a fuller understanding of her theory. Thank you, and God bless you.